Okay, what's up, YouTube? I got a PM from a black woman who is accomplished academically, but all she's doing is chasing after what she really loves to do. So she's not doing what she's doing so that she can, put herself above people or feel like she's too good, or, she wants power, she wants money. She's simply doing what she loves to do, and I can definitely respect that because that's all I'm trying to do. But her question was, how can I approach men in a way that lets them know that they still have a chance with me, or make sure my conversation says that they still have a chance? Should I just lie about what I do? Never that. I'll put it to you like this. Let me give you a little short story. A couple of years ago, I went to a get-together, and a friend introduced me to a chick, and I think I kind of scared her away with what I was doing. I let her know, I was doing X, Y, and Z, I graduated from here, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to accomplish that. And I didn't do it to say that I was better than her. I did it because, just like everything else in the black community, right, we don't learn how to socialize with each other properly. So I kind of posted my resume, even though it wasn't a job interview. And I think that kind of made her on some like, I don't know, I'm just doing X, Y, and Z. And I didn't do it to belittle her or make myself feel better. I made the mistake of assuming that, she was doing X, Y, and Z as well. But she wasn't. And I think that kind of messed up her initial reaction to me. So, it was kind of a missed opportunity. And so what I've learned is there may be people who may be intimidated. Oftentimes women don't, understand that they can also be intimidated too. If I meet a chick who, especially with this whole, we want to date up, which is perfectly fine, but I can meet a chick who wants to date up, and I can post a resume, right? And I can, make her intimidated, or I can, give off the impression that, I'm trying to go to the moon. So if you're not trying to go to the moon, you're just beneath me and below me. But I don't try to do that. Right, but oftentimes that's what happens when we give out too many details. Here's what you should do. Because this is what I do. If somebody asks me what I do and we meet each other initially, I just say I work in education. Simple as that. Right? Especially if we're just meeting each other. It's an intro type conversation. In terms of them figuring out what I do exactly, okay, and where I went to school and what I'm trying to do, well, that's a question that you have to ask me directly. And even then, I might say, hey, let's save that for a later conversation, because to me, that's something that goes down the line. I'm sure people don't want to waste their time, so I get the whole, did you go to school? That's a question that I like to ask, because if I ask you, did you go to school or something, you give me an answer, that at least gives me an initial reassurance. In regards to the details, we'll worry about that later, right? It's just as simple as that. If I meet somebody initially, I don't want to spend too much time talking about what you do. I'm trying to learn about who you are as a person. You're more than just what you do. I have more pressing questions, to be real with you. I have a whole set of questions or a whole set of things that I want to learn about you or know about you. What you do is part of that, but in terms of when I would ask that question, we're talking about maybe our third, fourth conversation. But initially, for me, all you need to know is I work in public education, right? Oh yeah, I went to school, right? So your initial, am I wasting my time, is satisfied, but the details, that comes later. So in your position, you said you were doing, I believe you were pursuing your doctorate in pharmaceutical science, right? Just even the name pharmaceutical science will throw people off, right? I have buddies who are in pharmacy, so, hearing that, I'm like, okay, I understand what you're doing. But for a lot of people, who may not even be exposed to people who are in pharmacy, may have no idea what you just said, right? But even then, and these can be people who are also educated, mind you, okay? But like I said, if I were you, I would say, I work in healthcare. or I'm in the health related industry or something like that, right? Let them know what industry you're in. In regards to the details, they don't have to know. You know, my biggest thing is when people run around and say, I'm a doctor this or I have a master's there. This is not a job interview, right? You know, we're not trying to form some business and network. That will come. You know, I hate when people say, you know, it's Dr. So-so-and-so. And we're not even in, you know, somewhere that's related to what they do, right? I promise you, if I was a medical doctor, outside of my doctor's office or some professional setting, I wouldn't say I'm a doctor. I wouldn't. It has nothing to do with what's going on. I'm not a doctor of life. I'm a doctor in terms of medicine and health or whatever. So if we're not in that atmosphere, then I'm not a doctor of nothing, right? So in reality, when we are selective in terms of what we do, or in terms of how we present ourselves, it lets people know that we're not trying to be overbearing. If you met somebody and said, you know, I'm trying to be a doctor in this, it's kind of like, uh-oh, what's going on? Right? It's like, all right. But if you initially say, I'm in healthcare or, you know, the pharmaceutical industry, it lets people know that, yeah, that's what I do, but there's more to me. Those details we can save for later. And then eventually, when that person knows that you're a doctor or trying to be a doctor, it's a whole lot easier because what did you do? You prepped them already. You let them know that this is what I do, but I'm more than that. Because what? You took the focus off what you did. You put it out there so somebody knows this is what you are, but you didn't you didn't go into the details, right? So you set them up. You know, I would hate to meet somebody and initially they're scared away because of all the things that I'm trying to do. So like I said before, I'm just going to let you know the industry that I work in. So I'm taking the whole emphasis on what I'm doing and this is what I do for a profession and this is where I went to school. I'm taking that away. So I'm saying, yeah, you know, I have my shit together in terms of profession and academics, but I'm more than that. You know, let's not talk about that right now. Right? I'm in, you know, public education. That's just what I do. You'll learn more about that stuff as we move on. Let's talk about X, Y, and Z. You know, how do you feel about, hey, what's going on with this? You know, what's going on with this rain? To really let somebody know that you are more than just a degree. Now, even if you do wait and do what I told you to do, and you eventually tell that person that you are obtaining your PhD or you already have your PhD, there's some people that may be scared away. That's just life. It happens to everybody. I think people sometimes feel inferior about who they are, and oftentimes they're scared away. You didn't do anything. It's like the whole intimidating black dude. You can't help how God made you. But you have people who are just scary people, right? You can't control being a black male, and people will just automatically be intimidated. There's nothing you can do about that, right? That's happened to me all the time. Oh, you know, there's a black guy, I'm intimidated. And I haven't did anything, said anything, haven't even acted in a overly aggressive way. And there's people who are like that. So there are people who automatically will feel intimidated because of what you're doing, and it goes both ways. Like I said before, I've never been, or I've never tried to be overbearing in regards to what I do and, you know, my academic resume and my professional resume and what I'm looking for. I've never been overbearing about that. But it has came up eventually, and even after doing what I said to do in terms of taking it slow and kind of easing people into what I do, they still been on some, uh-oh, this is too much for me, because they have some personal inadequacy inside of them. So hopefully it helps. You know, hopefully you can take that and apply it to your life and just understand that you have to chill, take it easy. You don't have to talk about what you do or your resume. Just let them know, I'm in this industry. This is what I do. And if they want to know, hey, you know, let's say that for later. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm more than what I do. Hey, what do you... And to me, like I said, it's a great reflection on who you are. It shows that, yeah, you're responsible, but there's more to you. A lot of black men get turned off. Not because we're intimidated or not because a lot of us feel inadequate, but it says too much about you. If you come on and you say, I'm doing X, Y, and Z in terms of profession and academics, what does that say? That that's all you are. That's the bulk of who you are. There's so much other things that I want people to know about me. Of course, what I do and where I been professionally and academically as part of it, but that's secondary. There's so many other things that they need to know about me before. And when you are very selective in terms of letting people know what you do initially, you can set yourself up and you can ease that person into what you do. So hopefully that helps. You take it easy. God bless.